Alrighty, so again, if you missed school on Monday, then you will be sent this video to kind of go over essentially what is replacing a normal sketchbook assignment. Because of testing coming up, I don't want anybody to stress out about having to complete outside homework because there's just so much going on. Schedules are crazy. This is simple. It's actually really fun, very quick. So when I taught elementary school, I had my third, fourth, and fifth graders do this specific project outside of school if they were doing virtual learning. So it's very easy to do, and so we're going to go over it. So perspective photography. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Perspective is the art of drawing objects to give the impression of their height, width, depth, and position in relation to each other when viewed from a particular point. An optical illusion is when you are tricking your eyes into seeing something that isn't real. This week you will be creating an optical illusion perspective photograph. And here are some examples of what I mean. So this person looks like she's standing on top of a bottle. This person looks like they're being crushed. And this person is so tiny, but this golf ball looks humongous and it looks like they're about to hold it. So that is essentially kind of what we're going for. Pretty easy. What you'll need is you and at least one other person so they can hold the camera and a camera. If you are unable to find another person to help you, if you're needing to set up your phone on a timer or on your computer, that is fine with me. As long as you're able to achieve the perspective, then you should be fine. But typically, I would prefer if you could find another person to help you with this. So, the instructions. To achieve a convincing optical illusion perspective photo, you will need at least one other person, typically. That person can be an adult or a sibling or a friend. They will be in charge of holding the camera and helping you align yourself perfectly. This will require good communication skills. The closer an object is to the camera, the bigger it will look. The further away an object is to the camera, the smaller it will look. So depending on what type of perspective you are trying to go for, you need to make sure that you, the other person in your photo, the object, is where they need to be, and that's how you achieve it. Now, a couple things. You are not allowed to take the photo, the picture, in school. This assignment must be completed outside of school. If you submit a photo that was taken during or at school, I'm going to ask you to redo the assignment because of a couple things. You should not be on your phone in other classes, okay? That's just a big thing. You're not going to try to be silly and take a picture of somebody without them knowing, squishing their head, whatever it may be. We're not doing that. That's not what this is about, okay? So you're doing this outside of class because that's what needs to be done outside. It is homework. You do it at home. Another reason is if you try to do it in school, you're going to have so many distractions. There's going to be a lot of like other people. There's going to be a bunch of books or posters or lockers. The perspective isn't going to work, okay? If for whatever reason, and it has to be something you come talk to me personally about, that you can't do this at home, you and I can work together to try to get this photo taken. However, you really need to make sure that, like I said, you are not taking this photo in school, okay? There's a lot of legality around it with, taking pictures of people without their permission and consent and all that other stuff. So, you're not doing it in school, okay? Outside of school. And you can have animals. So if you want to look like you're squishing your pets or they're ginormous or something, that is like totally fine with me. In fact, I think that'd be so funny and creative. So not taking it in school. If I see that it's in school, I'm going to ask you to redo it. If you submit it early and you need to redo it, then you can get full credit for it as long as you redo it correctly. However, if you submit it like the day of and it is in school and it's, you didn't do what you're supposed to, you're going to redo it and the highest grade you'll get is a 50 because you're not following directions. Okay? So, take this seriously. This is to replace a sketchbook assignment that's supposed to be easier. So, make sure you're taking advantage of that. You, the student, must be present in the photo. I am not posting these photos anywhere. I'm not sharing them with anybody. So it doesn't matter what your face looks like or your hair, your outfit, whatever. Okay? I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. It's a judge-free zone. Alrighty? You need to be in the photo though. Okay? If you really don't want your face to be in it, then be somewhere far away. Make yourself back in the distance and have somebody else hold you or something. Okay? So, make sure that you are in the photo. Again, it's not going to count, and I'm going to make you redo it. All right? You can have other people in the photo, you can have other objects, obviously, right? But you need to be in it. So just wrap your little brains around that. You've got to be in it. Okay? No way out of this. And the rubric is a bit different, so you want to make sure that you're looking at it beforehand. And then this is an example. So it says, look at the image below. Who is closer to the camera? Who is further away? And then how can you tell? So here is the rubric. There's not a lot going on. Half of your grade, 50 points. Student and at least one other person created a sense of depth. Their illusion is believable, convincing to the viewer. So if I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this child really does look like he's standing on top of his parents' car, right? Whatever, things like that. That is what I'm looking for. Just the overall believability. Now, this is where it'll get tricky. Is their illusion creative? Did others replicate the same concept? I guarantee I'll have a ton of people doing the holding situation like this or the stepping on thing. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not going to make you redo it, obviously, if you do those concepts, but just know that it's not very creative, okay? It's extremely easy. I really want y'all to stretch your creativeness with this, okay? And then the photo quality. Is it too blurry? Okay, is it not even clear what's really happening? Are there too many distractions? Even if it's taken at home, you can have a bunch of distractions in your background. We've talked about how to photograph 3D objects like sculptures and stuff. It's essentially the same thing. You want to have as clear of a background as you possibly can. Okay, so if you need to clean your room, okay? And then is the lighting appropriate? So if it's too dark, then I can't really see the illusion that's happening, then it's not a good quality photo. Okay? And I'm doing something a bit differently. So if I see that you've turned it in beforehand and it isn't meeting the requirements, I'm going to make you redo it until you really hit the requirements as far as photo quality. I'm not going to tell you about the creativity. You should know to be more creative than super simple, okay? You've been with me for a whole year. I've seen crazy creative things come out of every single one of you, right? But if I see the photo quality isn't that great, sometimes that's not your fault. Sometimes it's just a phone, or maybe you took it on a day it was really cloudy or whatever. I'll just be like, hey, can you just redo this with better lighting, resubmit it before the due date, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so I'll be checking for that one as often as I can as y'all submit them. All right. This whole thing is a quiz grade, and it will be due on Monday. Oh, my pop up here, the 9th. Okay, so it's due on the 9th. So I can't give any more feedback on Sunday, the 8th. The last day I can give feedback is on Saturday. So if you're not meeting, quality and you did it at school or whatever happened, okay, then it is what it is. All right, no more feedback on the 8th. And obviously not the 9th because it's due. All right, so if you're wanting to turn it in early, get that feedback, see if you need to fix anything, get it to me sooner. But it is a whole week long, essentially, assignment, so you have plenty of time to get this done. Okay? And then again, going back to this, make sure that if you have other people in your photo that you have their consent. It's off, even if it's off school property. Okay? It's really big, really, really big, important deal. Okay? Don't try to be funny. Try to take this seriously. Make sure you have everyone's consent to be in the photograph. Alrighty? Okay, so we went over the rubric, due date, how long you have, talked about, what you can and cannot do, what is required, how to achieve the perspective, some examples, definitions, bada bing, bada boom. If you've got any questions about this particular assignment, feel free to message me, but this is, again, it's in replace of doing a sketchbook assignment. So, quiz grade, high expectations, Super fun, super simple. Let me know if you got questions.